Hello everyone. In this lesson, we will begin building our Contact Us page. First, we will learn how to embed an interactive Google Map onto our page, and we will also learn how to add a contact form to the page so visitors can fill out a few fields, their name, their email address, and the message they want to send us, so that way they can send us an email without knowing our email address. Without further ado, let's jump into the action and try to add a Google Map to our page. Alright, so here's the home page of my website, and if I use the navigation menu to go to our Contact Us page, we see that at the moment it only has one sentence of filler or placeholder content. So let's make our first goal to remove this placeholder text and instead add an interactive Google Map so that way visitors of our website can see where our hypothetical business is located, and they will be only one click away from getting Google Map directions from their location to our business's location. Okay, so if I want to edit this Contact Us page, the first step is to just look up in the top black admin bar, and we can use this Edit Page link. From this screen, let's begin editing this content. So I will delete this and instead say, our main corporate office is located in downtown New York City. And then maybe right below that sentence, we will include an interactive Google Map here. Now, if we want a Google Map, our next step is to open a new tab in our web browser or a new window in our web browser. So in this new window, perform a Google search for Google Maps. We are looking for maps.google.com. So when you find that, go ahead and click on it. And from this screen, we can use this top left search field to search for any address we can think of. So if you have a business office, go ahead and type in the address for that office here. In my case, just as an example, I will type in Times Square, New York City. Alright, and now if your business already shows up as one of these circle locations, you can just click on it, or you can literally just click anywhere on the map. So for example, if I click right here, it created this little marker, and now down here towards the bottom center of the screen, if I click on this location, that updates this left-hand panel of the screen, and now what we're looking for is this button right here that reads Share. So go ahead and click on the share icon, and then within this pop-up content, click on Embed Map. Perfect. This is what we are looking for. So you'll notice that in this field, Google is giving us a bit of code. Now with this code highlighted, just go ahead and copy it to your clipboard. And now jump back to the browser tab or browser window where you have WordPress open. So here I am back in my WordPress admin area, and I'm editing the Contact Us page. And now it's just as simple as pasting in that code. So remember, we wanted to add the Google Map right about here. So with my cursor there, that looks good. But let's be sure to switch from visual mode into text mode because we want to paste in code. So click on text here. And now we can get rid of this non-breaking space character. And now simply just paste in your clipboard. It's not necessary, but just to stay organized, why don't we add a space or a new line in between our sentence and the Google code. Okay, and now we can go ahead and switch back to the visual mode instead of the text mode. And there we see our interactive Google Map. So let's go ahead and click this blue update button in the right-hand sidebar. Okay, and we see this message, page was successfully updated, and we can use this view page link to check out the front end of our website. And there it is. Perfect. So now visitors of our website can click and drag or zoom in and out on this map. And they can also click this directions button here, and they're just one click away from getting step-by-step Google directions to our office. Alright, so we successfully added a Google Map to our page. Let's change gears now, and our next goal for our Contact Us page is to add a form down here that visitors can fill out to send us a message. So there will be fields for them to enter their name, their email address, and then a message that they want to send us. And then they can click a submit button, and WordPress will automatically take their message and send it to us via email. So that way our email address stays relatively private, and it's not just up on the web for all spam robots to gather. Now, out of the box, by default, WordPress does not have the ability to create a contact form. However, we know that we can leverage the power of plugins. So let's jump back to our WordPress admin dashboard area. And in the left-hand menu, click on Plugins. We are going to search for and install a new plugin that will allow us to create a contact form. So we are going to need to use the Add New Plugin link. So click on Add New. And from this screen, let's use this top right search field and search for Contact Form 7. Okay, and the first result is indeed Contact Form 7. This is a great plugin, and you can see that I'm not alone in thinking that. It has over 1 million active installs and an average rating of 4.5 stars. This plugin has been around for years. It's an awesome solution. So let's go ahead and click the Install Now button. Once that's complete, we can then click Activate. And now, with that plugin activated, if we look in our left-hand sidebar, we will see a new option named Contact. Let's go ahead and click on Contact. And from this screen, I want to draw your attention to this area. This screen will show us all of the different contact forms we have. Currently, we just have the one form that the plugin creates for us automatically by default. And for our website and our purposes, I think this is the only form that we will need. Now, in a few minutes, we will indeed learn how to customize and edit the form. But for now, to get started, let's just learn how to add the form to our Contact Us page. So right here, we will see something called a shortcode. A shortcode is a piece of code that you can copy and paste into the main content area field for a page or a post. So check this out. Let's go ahead and select and copy this shortcode right here. So select it and then click Copy. And with that in my clipboard, now let's jump over to my Contact Us page. So in the left-hand sidebar, let's click on Pages. We want to work on the Contact Us page, so let's click that. Okay, and remember, we want to add the contact form right below this Google map. So I will just click right about here to place my cursor after the map, and then push Enter to drop down to a new line. And now let's just paste in our clipboard, and there's that shortcode. Now this might just look like code to you and I, but WordPress will interpret this and know what to do with it. So check this out. If we go ahead and click the blue Update button in the right-hand corner, and we see page successfully updated, and if we use this link to preview the front end of our website, below the Google map is indeed a contact form. And now visitors of our website can simply fill out these fields. So for your name, they might say John Doe. For their email address, they might say johndoe@johndoe.gov. For the subject line, they might say, "Hello, I'd like to work with you." And then they just enter a brief message. "Hello, can I hire you? Lorem ipsum, hello world." And finally, they click the Send button, and then WordPress behind the scenes will take this information that they entered and send it to us, the owner of the website, in an email. So I clicked the Send button, and now we see, "Thank you for your message, it has been sent." And you'll have to take my word for it, but my smartphone just dinged because I received an email with the data that we just filled out. Okay, so we successfully added a contact form to the Contact Us page. Now, before we bring this lesson to a close, let's learn how to customize or edit this form. So, for example, instead of just these fields, imagine we want to add a new field, and imagine its name or label reads, "What are you interested in?" And then instead of a text field that the user can type in, imagine it's a drop-down menu and they can choose between photography, advertising, or graphic design. Okay, so let's go and set that up and add that new field right now. So let's jump back to our admin dashboard, and in the sidebar, let's click on the contact item. Again, at this moment, we only have the one form, so let's go ahead and click on it to edit it. All right, and this is a brand new screen that we have never seen before, so let's take a moment to analyze what we are looking at. So up here, we see the short code that we already copied and pasted to add the form to our page. And then moving down, here is the area where we can actually customize and edit the form. So this code that we see here is our current form. I know code can be scary and intimidating, but let's just go over this line by line, because I don't think it's as scary as you think it is. So within this first chunk of code, you can ignore the words label, and really all we see is text that says your name, and the field is required, so users have to fill this out. They can't leave it blank. And then we see another bit of code here. So the word text here tells WordPress and the web browser to create a text input field where users can type. And then your name is the name of that field. Let's look at the next chunk of code. So here we see your email, and it's required. And then the word email right here is telling the plugin and WordPress and the web browser that the user must enter a valid email address in this field. And then your email is the name of that field. Okay, and then obviously that same pattern is also applied for the subject field and the your message field. So hopefully you can agree with me that this code is not rocket science, but let's get back to the task at hand. So remember, we want to create a brand new field titled What Are You Interested In? And the field will be a drop-down menu where visitors have to choose between advertising, photography, or graphic design. Okay, so if we want to add that new field, the first step is to place our cursor, so click right where we want to add it. So let's say that I want to add it right after this subject field and right before the your message field. So I will just click here to place my cursor right there. And now I can click any one of these buttons to insert a certain type of field. So I can click drop-down menu. And from this pop-up screen, we are interested in this options field. So you can see that it reads one option per line. So we want them to be able to choose between photography, advertising, or graphic design. But you get the idea. You just type out the available options that you want your visitors to be able to choose from, one per line, and that's it. So with those in place, now we can click this blue Insert Tag button down here. And the plugin just added this new line of code for us. Now with this new line of code in place, why don't we click this Save button in the top right corner and see what our updated contact form looks like on the front end of our website. So let me jump to the Contact Us page. And if I scroll down a bit, here we see that drop-down menu. And if I click on it, I can choose between the three options. Now I do notice a problem though. This field doesn't have a label. Remember, we wanted it to read, what are you interested in? So let's add that label right now. Let's jump back into our admin dashboard. And now our goal is to add label text for this new field that we created. We are going to need to write a little tiny bit of code, but I don't think it's going to be scary. So check this out. Right above this new line that we created, let's add a new line. So place your cursor at the beginning of this line and then push enter to create a new line, and then just jump up to that new line and enter the less than symbol and then type label and then type the greater than symbol. And now we can type whatever we want our label to be. So in our case, let's make it read, what are you interested in? Okay, and we have one last step. Now right below this new field line, so drop down to a new line. Now I want you to close out the label tag. So type in the less than symbol, and then type a /. All right, and then type label, and then type a greater than symbol. And that's it. Congratulations. You just wrote a bit of HTML code. Now from this point, let's go ahead and save the page again. So towards the right-hand corner, click Save. And now if I jump back to my front-facing website on the contact page and refresh, and scroll down a bit, here's our field, and now we see, what are you interested in? So now visitors will understand what we are asking them to fill out. Okay, so we successfully added a field to the front end of this form that visitors fill out. But we do have one final step if we want to actually see their answer in the email that gets sent to us. So check this out. If we jump back to our admin dashboard, all right, and from this Edit Contact Form screen, we've previously been working in this area, and up here we can see a few tabs to choose from. So we've been working within the Form screen, but now we need to click on the Mail screen. So go ahead and click Mail right here. This screen will let us customize all of the details about the email that gets sent to us as the owner of the website. So you can change the to field, the from field, the subject line. You get the idea. In this case, what I want to customize is the actual message or the body of the email. So if I scroll down a bit, here we can see message body. And this is the actual meat and potatoes. This is the body of the email that will be sent to us. Now, if you think back to a few moments ago when we were working with the code, these bits of code here will probably seem familiar. Remember that field where the user types in their name? Well, whatever the user types in is stored in a variable named your-name. And the same thing with their email. It's stored in a variable your-email. So we will receive an email that says from : and then the person's name, subject : and then whatever the user typed in as their subject. So back to the task at hand, we want to make sure that this email that gets sent to us includes the field where we ask the user what they are interested in. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's create a new line right about here and say interested in, and then I need to type out the variable name for that new field that we created. Now, I don't expect you to have superhuman memory, so to find out the name of that field, let's just scroll up. And currently we are in the Mail tab, but let's jump back to the Form tab. And here's that drop-down field that we created. Currently, it looks like it has a name or variable name of menu-466. Now, the Contact plugin and WordPress automatically generated that name for us, and it indeed seems like a name that a robot came up with. It's not a very human-friendly name, so we are free to change that right now if we want to. So let's delete that menu-466, and instead let's type in interested-in. Now, I just made that up. I invented this name. You could type out any name that you want here. Just make sure that you don't have spaces in your name. Use dashes instead of spaces. And now, if we jump back to the Mail tab, so click on Mail right here. If I scroll down a bit, back in this message body field, remember we added interested in : and now we just type out the variable name of that field. So let's begin with a pair of brackets, square brackets. If you're not sure how to get these characters, I'll tell you right now. So on your keyboard, directly to the right of the P key, that's the open square bracket. And then to the right of that key is the closing square bracket. Now in between those brackets, let's just type the variable name. Now you might have named it something different, but in my case, remember I named that field interested-in. All right, so this code looks good to me. Now let's scroll down to the very bottom of this page and click on Save. And now let's jump back over to the front end of our website and refresh on the Contact Us page. And if I scroll down, let me fill out this form, and then I will show you the email in my inbox to prove that everything's working as we had hoped for. All right, let's go ahead and click Send. Thank you for your message. It was sent. And just to prove that things are working as we had hoped for, here is that generated email from my inbox. And that's actually going to bring this lesson to a close. In our next lesson, we will learn how to make a few improvements to the contact form. It should be a lot of fun. By the end of that lesson, we will have a premium 100% bulletproof contact form. Let's keep rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson.